Something that I never thought I would do again. And it all brought me back to when a preacher shared her words of comfort then. She said, imagine we all live under the water, never knowing the sky.
하는 거야, 그럼.